And it is my honor to introduce to you our resource speaker, which is, or who is actually originally coming from Leyte and is now a resident of Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu, Philippines. She is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Architecture of the University of San Carlos Technological Campus and currently taking up Masters in Business Administration at the University of the Philippines. She successfully finished special courses like Eco Design for Cities and Suburbs at the University of British Columbia in Canada and Sustainable Urban Development in Delft University and Wageningen University in the Netherlands. She is a licensed architect of the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN for Sustainable Mixed Use Developments. She is also known being a Verde or Building for Ecologically Responsive Design Excellence professional. Aside from being a licensed architect, she is also a licensed environmental planner. Take note, master plumber, a broker, and a real estate appraiser. She is the owner and the principal architect of Dream Architects and is responsible in building iconic projects in Cebu, including the Church of Jesus of Latter-day Saints building in Lahog, the 40-story JT Tower, and J Park Island Water Park and Hotel, among others. Now, she is living a happy and content life with her very supportive husband and two adorable children while doing her duties as an architect, entrepreneur, and farmer all at the same time. Yes, she proudly considers herself a farmer. That is why she also takes pride being the owner of Hacienda Rita in Calubian, Leyte, and Hacienda Garcia in Barangay Guba, Cebu City. Both are mountain resorts or farms advocating organic living in a clean and sustainable environment. And today, we are honored and fortunate to have her share with us her personal journey to discovering the wonders of going back to nature to enjoy the benefits of living a healthy, sustainable lifestyle based in communing with the natural environment, consuming organic foods, and playing her part in leaving a legacy for the future generation. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to give you our resource speaker, architect Daryl Subito Balmoria Garcia. Big round of virtual applause, please.
So good morning to everyone. I'm very honored to be here. A few years back when I saw the Amonsagana project, I was really amazed and I said to myself, this is a project that I really want to be part of because it is a project that is a living and breathing purpose of Dream Architects. So before all of you here today, actually this is a dream come true for me. So thank you very much, Mild and Amonsagana team, for inviting me to be part of this Amonsagana series. So first, I hope you are all well, safely tucked in your home. I hope that you are all ready to be green today, but in a good way. So to start, this morning I will talk about our garden story, our backstory at Dream Architects, and how we start and how we are hardcore with health and sustainability, and will also hopefully show you and inspire you how we do it, even if we have full-time jobs and the benefits of doing so. So I don't think I need to introduce myself anymore because my friend here, Mild, already sold me. So I feel the pressure when he introduced me, but of course, let me introduce myself again. I am architect Daryl Balmoria Garcia, principal architect of Dream Architects. I started my own firm at the young age of 27 um, in a 12 square meter office tucked away in the corner of somewhere in a very old building. So I was one of the fortunate ones to be able to start early. Our project started with residential homes that grew into subdivisions and then lately into townships, five-star resorts, multi-story condominiums, and towers. In the midst of all these buildings, the heart of our practice is sustainability. Hence, our specialization in both the ASEAN architect and the APEC architect community is sustainable mixed-use developments. It is my goal as the principal of Dream Architects to always design with nature in mind. Working with nature will always be the best approach than going against it and disrupting the balance in nature. To date, we have designed numerous projects such as J Park Resorts and Water Park in Panglao, Bohol, Minglanilla Highlands by Sterling Land, J Tower Residences, a 40-story condominium in Mandaue, and the multi-tower Guada Verde in Guadalupe, to name a few. We treat every project as a long-term relationship with our clients, and by giving our full support to our project, we ensure that as our clients grow, we also grow with them as well. Over the years, we hold true to the quote, dream work makes the dream work, not only to dream architects, but to our partner clients as well. Our projects cannot be successful without the support of our clients and the project team. We go beyond our service to deliver our projects with the best output possible. A win to the users and a win to the client spells victory to our team as well. Our passion is to make every client's dream come true by listening to their visions and interpreting them into built environments and tangible, buildable, livable dreams. So the question in your mind right now may be, how can a lady boss with 8 licenses and having a full career also advocate being an organic farmer? From the concrete jungle to somewhere in the middle of a food forest is somewhere very far out and worlds apart. Somehow, even conflicting as being an architect drives us to build and develop structures that are built to last. It's just so very opposite. With all the stress and toxicity of living in the metro and facing the construction and development, looking forward to a weekend in the farm is such a welcome respite that no matter how backbreaking the weekday is, the weekend will always be a joy just being one with nature, relaxing, sometimes doing nothing, or sometimes even busier because farmers' work is never done, or sometimes just doing nothing, listening to the birds and the bees. But these reasons are the byproduct of a very hard lesson that we have learned in the past. Let us backtrack a bit so I can share the root of our advocacy. As a little girl, I grew up in the farm with my grandparents. I have seen how they tilled the soil and took good care of the land. They ate what is seasonal and they adapted to the times. My childhood memories of our farm life in Leyte was engraved in my mind and heart. I dreamed of a time where we can own the land we walk on since my grandparents' house was 8 kilometers away from the barangay with electricity. So you can imagine how rural we were. The dream came true, which became Agenda Rita. But don't be fooled by the name. It's just a hashtag that we nicknamed the farm. It's not really a large agenda, but more of a maximized land. So fast forward, me and my husband plans to retire early and spend our life here in the farm. We want to teach and share to young people that agriculture is the new cool. We also wish to impart our happy childhood memories to our children where they will learn to take care of the land, the livestock, and be one with nature. But this is the happy part of why we are hardcore organic farmers. The other side of the story is a bit dark. So in 2009, my mother was in the ICU for 6 months. So imagine 6 months and nearly dying. Her liver and kidney had shut down due to an infection. The doctor said she is hopeless. The admins have told me I may not be able to repay the hospital bills even if I work all my life. The priest was already called and it was time to say our last goodbyes as it was decided by the whole family to let my mama go She is tired. Everybody is already exhausted, and there is no more hope. It was a battle we cannot win anymore. Her body has already given up. I was told even if we wait, there is no more medicine for her because her liver and her kidney had already shut down, and we are only keeping her alive because of the machines. The infection has gone resistant to the last antibiotic, and no medicine is applicable anymore because her liver is as good as dead. When her heart stops breathing, it's the end of it all. I still feel emotional talking about this because this was such a very crucial time in our life. I cried an ocean of tears. How can I let my mother go? I prayed. I just cannot give up on her, knowing that if it were me on the bed, she will fight heaven and hell to keep me alive. And so I begged the doctors to just give us 7 days for me to be able to accept the fact that she will be gone after that. And in that 7 days, since there is no more medicine, her specialist told me that we can give to her whatever is her favorite food. So at that time I thought my mom's favorite food is lechon, humba, crispy pata. So will that be good for her if I give it to her? I know it's her last days and she would have wanted to eat all of those good food that is her favorite, but at that time it was like a light bulb moment. What can we give her that may give her hope? Because at that time it was really hopeless, and nobody really expected her to recover from it. So, but something happened, a miracle, a God given miracle from Mother Nature. And you know what that miracle is? It's just malunggay, the ordinary kamunggay that we put in our utan Bisaya. At that time during in the hospital, we did not have a blender or a juicer, so we needed to hand pound it and then feed it on her tube. Then on the third day, her kidney specialist said, "Architect, your mother's laboratory is improving. So whatever you're giving her, just continue giving it to her." So imagine from 6 months in the ICU, after 7 days of giving her just pure malunggay juice, we're able to go out of the ICU. Uh, and for what? It's just the lowly malunggay that we are so used to. Nothing more and nothing less. It was like a manna from heaven, a gift and divine intervention. We were out of the hospital in less than a month. I think it was just 15 days from there. And we just fed her malunggay. It was exhilarating and unbelievable at that time. We never believed that nature can be that powerful. We've already heard, but it was at that moment that we realized nature is really the best healer. It was an eye opener. It was unbelievable. It was really unbelievable, but it happened. So after 12 years, this is my mom. She's alive and thriving in her senior years, powered by nature. She's fresh and healthy as compared to that dying woman with dead kidneys and liver clinging on for dear life. My mother is such a strong woman who dedicates her life around our family. If we gave up on her at that time, we would have lost her. Of course, modern medicine did help her, but the natural medicine worked with a miracle to keep her alive. So there is hope. She is a living proof that nature will always be the best healer. And that is why we are hardcore advocates of natural organic food. We have witnessed how the common malunggay can bring someone back to life literally and repair every cell in the body and renew her. So the saying goes that let your food be thy medicine and your medicine be thy food is really true. All the modern medicines that we have now is partly or wholly came from plants, processed in laboratories and pumped with chemicals and preservatives. Imagine if you eat food pumped with pesticides and chemical fertilizers, herbicides that kill weeds. Imagine what that will do inside your body, what that will do in the water systems and in the air. As the saying goes, you are what you eat. Would you rather eat dirty, chemically laden food and expect to be healthy as well? Of course not. What you chose to eat has a profound effect on your overall health. Whole, nutritious food boasts vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, fiber, protein, fat, and all the goodness that promote health and are key to optimal body function. Following a healthy diet can increase longevity, protect against disease, and improve your overall quality of life. Although many foods have strong disease fighting benefits, diet should not be the sole consideration. Of course, we also need to balance it and complement it with modern medicine. Alternative medicine or complementary therapies are just one of the healing practices that we did when my mom went out of the hospital. We also, aside from this, we also augmented my mom's healing with traditional hilot or massage, meditation, and deep breathing techniques. She went out of the hospital after 6 months with nothing but skin and bones. She was bald. She did not have hair. She can't walk. She can't even stand up. She was like a skeleton held together by skin. But by feeding her with natural food, side by side with her medicine, and um, having her close to nature, after 6 months, she was out of 80% of her modern medication. And in a year, she was like a brand new person with all the laboratory tests and organs in good condition. It was indeed a miracle, thanks to natural healing and organic food. Well, sunny skies and shady trees, vibrant sunrises and sunsets, you really need to get out of nature, do your exercise, and enjoy. Yet, nature isn't just for taking picnics and adventures through the outdoors. Spending time outside does wonders for people's physical and mental health, making it ample way to improve your well-being. However, if you aren't already convinced to get your daily dose of outdoor beauty or have access to one, it is important to have a home where you can have all of these. A home wherein you are closer to nature, and being close to nature, you will be healthier. A place where you can have a good night's sleep. The outdoors can also kiss their stress goodbye, as evident by us. No matter how toxic we are at work, every time we go to the farm, it's like we are rejuvenated by the sights and views of the mountains and nature. Nature also has an astounding healing properties, and it has studies have shown that nature can directly improve your physical health, including patients even recovering, which is what happened to my mom. Your stress level is also very low in places where you are close to nature. Being outside is good for your mental health. With what happened to COVID-19, it is a very important to safeguard not just our physical well-being, but also our mental health. More outdoor activities will also make you a fitter and healthier person. So nature also heightens your senses and memory. And of course, it gives you pure, simple happiness. Nature can also curb mental diseases as well. So it is very important to go outdoor, have fun, and explore nature. But how? This is the usual question. The excuses are also endless. I don't have a green thumb. I don't have time. I don't have space. I hate mosquitoes and bugs and so forth. Well, the dream architects in me will gladly tell you that it is possible. We are a working family. Me as an architect, full-time mom, and doing a master's degree in business administration in the University of the Philippines. My husband is also a full-time working policeman assigned in the Special Weapons and Tactics Division of the Mandawi City Police Office. So if we as busy professionals can do it, of course, absolutely, you can also do it. But first, you will ask us what changed after that. Well, I would definitely say our lifestyle really changed. We focused on growing as much of the food that we consume, even in our busy schedule. It was a whole family affair. From me, my parents, to the kids, everyone in the house pitched in. The first goal was to produce enough food for my mother. Then we saw the benefits and we started eating like her as well. Then the kids grew up seeing all these things and they adapted to the lifestyle really well. Some say kids don't eat vegetables, but as adults, if we show to them and show them how delicious it is and expose them to this lifestyle, the children will really follow what the adults are also doing. The joy of growing your own food is just endless. The food tastes better, and the nourishment it gives your body can be felt even in the short time that we have started it. Brain fog in the morning started to dissipate. Your digestion becomes suddenly good. Your hair, your skin, everything changes when you also change your lifestyle and how you feed your body. By planning out the garden based on what we need, we were able to adjust our growing schedule based on our consumption. Of course, we were guilty at first of growing too much of everything, and it just turned out to be waste or given out to friends and family because we at one point we grew like 1,000 heads of lettuce when a family can only like eat 15 heads of lettuce in a week. So um, base your garden on your consumption. Take it easy. Grow only what you really use and what you need. Start small. Even a small pot will do and grow from there. Our garden started in this 20 square meter lot beside our house, but we were able to grow it around 200 square meters because we grew in every space by growing on the fences, on the walls, railings, roofs, and doing multi-level gardens. We packed as much plant as possible in a setting that allows them to benefit each other through shade, companion planting, and of course, it was easier to water the plants from the top because the water will just trickle down to the lower parts of the garden. So remember, we are working full time. So being able to manage the garden with the least amount of time is the key. You don't want to overwhelm yourself and say, I'll resign from my job because nobody can tend to the garden. Let's be realistic and do it gradually because you also need to learn as you go. So our garden started in 2009 to 2010 when my mother went out of the hospital. One pot grew to three, four, five pots and to hundreds. As I've always said, even if you say I'm not a green thumb, if you grow one plant per day and you kill three-fourths, 75% of the plant that you have grew, at the end of the year, you'll still end up with 100+ plants. And you know, there is really no such thing as green thumb. It was also a trial and error for us. At that time, we were doing container gardening. We put it in pots as we did not have space and the construction around the house was ongoing. So having them in containers allowed us to transfer the plants and when needed, rearrange them based on the location that the plants prefer. Having a garden at home allows you access to fresh food right at your doorstep. Growing organic food was also an assurance for us that we will eat the best kind of food that we can give our body. We have seen how toxins can damage the body, so we made it a point to be fully organic in our garden. In the process, we were able to grow vegetables, herbs, medicinal plants, and even strawberries and grapes in the hot island weather of Lapu-Lapu City. It is a lifestyle change for the whole family. Having the chance to have access to an organic food source is a luxury these days. But what if something happened and the supply chain is disrupted? What will you do if you don't have access to steady supply of food on your own? It pays to learn at least to grow your own food. And of course, you cannot grow everything yourself. So knowing local organic farms and supporting organic farmers is a good way to build a strong community. What is the price if you don't? Well, the price is your health, your well being, and your happiness. Imagine this is my mom 12 years ago, bedridden in the hospital, does not have teeth. She lost all her hair. She cannot even talk. And she was like literally almost nearly dead. So, a lifestyle change, do not wait for something like this to happen for you to start changing your lifestyle. Of course, you should not be doing it at one time, like a sudden change. It should be a gradual change, and you should be able to learn as you go. Of course, for us, our main goal is for our family. To have a healthy and happy family is the ultimate dream. we are an extended family. We have our parents. We take care of our parents, and we also have other children that we take care under our wing. So growing all these children um, allows us to impart our knowledge to them and inspire them, and hopefully they can advocate this kind of lifestyle as well. So why is it important to invest in your health? Investing in your health is as important as investing in your home. Having a home that is sustainably designed and built and conceptualized as Amonsagana will increase your property value. It will also provide jobs and opportunities for your local farmers and craftsmanships as well. It also increases your community exposure since this kind of lifestyle will allow you to um, be with your neighbors, talk about be with the community. So having a sustainable home will also maximize your energy consumption. It will also minimize your damage to the environment, and of course, it is a proven cost effective as time passes by if your home is sustainably designed. So your home is your best investment and security. Having a home that is designed with innovation in mind, with the energy and the tropical environment of the Philippines, with sustainably sourced materials and resources, having your sites designed in a sustainable manner with indoor air quality that is good as the outdoor air quality as well, and a community or home that promotes awareness and education in sustainability is a very good investment for you. So when COVID happened, we were asked to stay home and stay safe. At that time, if you did not have like a home, it was like something that you are not stable or you are lost. So having a home that is sustainably designed is really very important. Um, when COVID-19 hit, my husband and me were infected. But what was the difference? Well, the difference is we were resilient. Um, we all have everything we need in the farm. We were self-sustaining. During the lockdown, we stayed in the farm and we were gardening and harvesting, and we did not even have to go out for groceries. So it was like normal for us to have that inside the farm. So fresh food, fresh air, and a healthy environment is very important in this pandemic-stricken world. Um, we have all that we need and we were healthy and safe. So we also saw that the children in the farm were not affected by the happenings outside because we were self-contained in the farm that we never really had to worry about wearing masks inside the farm because we were just inside there and we did not go out and we have all the food that we needed. So this is our farm life during the quarantine. We have container garden. I like this compact garden personally because I just have to water the plants from the top and then it trickles down below. So I just water from the top one time. In this very small area, this is like just 3 meters by 1 meter wide plot. We're able to plant like hundreds of plants because on top, on the green containers are strawberries. On the second layer are herbs and lettuces. On the third layer are still um, tarragon, basils, and mints, and on the lower one is radishes. Now you may wonder why we're doing compact. In the farm, we are practicing organic and permaculture principles. So that is why we tend to grow with nature in mind. So this is a standard plot that we have that is practicing companion planting. So what does that mean? We put plants together, plants that complement or help each other. So for example, the strawberries are on top because strawberries are always very attractive to insects. So on the lower level, we put in the herbs that the insects do not like. So it's like the strawberries are being protected by the herbs below, and the radishes are also protected by the herbs on top of it. So very compact, but this setup is more than enough. So even if you don't have space and you don't have a farm, you can still grow your own food and yourself from your own garden. So this is the farm in 2020 when the lockdown started on March 15. It was a barren piece of land. The soil was clay, so barely nothing grew. Plus, there were mature mahogany trees around the perimeter of the tree house that where we built. As you may all have heard, mahogany is toxic to the plants that grow under it. So it was really a struggle at first on how to grow it. So we really needed to study how to grow and still maintain the trees because in the farm we have this promise to the land that we will not cut trees that are there before us. So the trees were there before us. It is but right to give them respect and allow them to live because we are just we are the new occupants of the land. So you will see the difference of practicing organic permaculture principles from the picture on 2020 where nothing grew to this year where the plants are already thriving here. So this one is our vegetable and herb garden. We also grow medicinal plants here. We have a collection of native tree species. We're planting them here so that we can propagate more of the native species. So now why you're asking if why we are growing native species where for one they are native to the Philippines, they grow well. We planted native trees last year and did not go back, did not even water them, did not touch them after a year. But when we went back, they were already taller. Some are already taller than me. So, um, organic practices and permaculture principles plus planting local native plants really did work wonders. When we started here in the farm, the farmers around the vicinity told us that it's not possible to grow something in this land because it's clay. And they say that the soil is already dead from all the chemical sprays that was done before. So the only way for us to be able to grow, they told us, was to use chemical pesticides, fertilizers, and more. By doing the organic practices, we are also starting to show to the farmers around us that it is possible to veer away from the chemicals and pesticides because when they go to the farm and they see that the farm is thriving even without the synthetic fertilizers and herbicides that they spray, there's like a light bulb moment for them that oh, it's doable. It's like we are showing them we are showing them that it's doable by practicing it first here in the farm. So even if this garden looks wild, this provides more than enough for our family and even share some of the produce to our friends. We are practicing here also terracing in the garden because most of the land in our farm is sloping, so that's why we need to terrace the garden so that we can prevent erosion and allow the water to seep through during rains because mostly if we do the conventional, every time it rains, the topsoil will be washed out, and that is what causes floods. We're also doing rainwater catchment systems here so that we are able to let the water percolate back to the water aquifers. So the tree house is something very personal for us. Although I'm an architect and I have access to all the materials, builders, and modern equipments, we are trying to build the farm the traditional way. And the tree house is something really that is personal to us because we are part of the people that grow them. Even my children are part of the roof because they helped in installing the roof. And by doing this exercise, me as an architect, I realized how important it is to give appreciation to our workers because our workers, carpenters, laborers, masons are doing a fantastic job by doing our buildings properly because honestly, I know how to design, but the building part is more hard. Also, the tree house is made with recycled, repurposed, or local materials. So we are building the farm and the tree house by something that we already have or something that can be reused. So for example, the railings that we are using is an invasive type of of local bamboo that is like a vine that grows on trees that kills the trees afterwards. So we were trying to clear the land, and we did not really know what to do with all the vine bamboos that we have cleared. So then we realized, oh, maybe we can use this in the treehouse. So now the treehouse railings are made with local material that is sustainably sourced in our farm, and it grows very fast. So some people will ask me, architect, why are you not building with concrete? It lasts longer. But the treehouse is something that is built from something that is growing. So if something is damaged, a part of it is damaged, then we can easily replace it and harvest from what has grown already also on the farm. So this is our daily harvest. We have vegetables, we have herbs and fruits. So everything is really fresh. We did not go to the grocery. When the lockdown started, was not able to go to the grocery for 8 months. And the funny thing about it is when I went to the grocery, I only purchased salt because, come to think of it, we already have everything in the garden. We have vegetables, we have fish because we have a small fish pond. We have we even learned how to do our own coconut sugar. We have oil. We have so it was like a realization. No, our grandparents lived like this before. They only go to the barrios to buy salt and sugar, and somehow as city dwellers we have forgotten that we as humans are capable of also growing our own food. So imagine being able to live with nature and be one with nature, to be able to experience how nature grows, observe it, and then learn from it. You're able to not just learn, but you also repair and rejuvenate your mind and body. So, if as you can see, the picture on the 2020 side, it's really barren. Nothing was growing. It was like a dead soil. To 2020, it's now green, it's more colorful, and the treehouse is nearly done. And it's special because we were able to be really a part of it. As an architect, I was not just someone doing it from the drawing board and visiting from time to time. It was something personal because I was there when it was built, and some of the features of it are done based on what is in nature. So the treehouse that we designed it around a nangka tree that is like 100 years old, planted by the grandmother of the owner of the land. So it was like we revere the place, we respect the place, and in turn, the place loves us back by giving us like abundance of food. Nature is really very abundant, and everything that we need, nature can provide it abundantly. So here, even if you just plant one plant, nature can replant on her own. Nature is very forgiving. I've seen mountains being leveled just to do another island when in fact we can just build with what we already have. We designed the farm around the slope of the land. We did not damage or we did not excavate. We just grow with, we just built with what was already there. So that is why this tree house is 3 levels. On the main level is an open hall and our living space. On the upper level is 2 bedroom lofts. And on the lower ground is our kitchen and dining area. So conventionally, we would have like excavated and built on top of it. But since we are building with the slope of the land, we are able to maximize its full potential and enjoy the serenity of nature. So here in the farm, when you have a farm, something, no, this is something that we just experience when we go to the resorts, and when we like when we just go on a vacation, when we go to Bohol and go to farms that have these offerings. But in the farm, it's like our everyday thing. You just go to the garden and harvest what's available for the day. Like, for example, if we have a lot of kangkong, then we'll have kangkong for breakfast. Or if we have it's santol or mango season, then we'll have mango or santol as snacks for the day. So really, having your home and have an organic garden access, plus living in an area where nature is respected, is very good for our well-being. So these are the food that we produce in the farm. We can we can have like a salad or pancakes that we made from our own flour. We also grow our own livestock in the farm, and we're able to like experiment with what is growing abundantly there. So we are growing with the season, and we are eating with nature. So it's always fresh all the time, and for things that need to be preserved, it's also easy to do it in a natural way. So here in the farm, we have livestock. In our effort to be sustainable and to um, be self-contained as much as possible, we grow our own chickens, ducks. We also have our own poultry for the eggs because children and adults alike loves eggs, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we want the taste of eggs that are fresh is really very different from the store bought ones. So it makes a lot of huge difference. Some would also say that um, uh, the animals are pets, so why are we eating them? And we want to grow our own food. We want to grow our own livestock. We want to grow our own meat because we want to know how our food is grown, and we want to um, learn how to grow them ourselves. So by doing this, we are inculcating in our children respect for the food that we eat because they know how it is grown. They were there, they were part of the process, and it gives us more appreciation to the nourishment that we give from the land because we were there, we know how it is grown, and we know that we did our best to give our meat the best life possible for them. So we want them to be sustainably and humanely grown. So here in the farm, since we have a lot of harvest, sometimes if it's not in season, we miss them. So we we learned how to preserve it the natural way, where it does not have pesticide and preservative. So it's very easy. Just by drying, you can make your own mint. We do our own sugar. We have our own turmeric and ginger powders, malunggay powders. We even have our own rice and corn coffees. So if we are able to do it as busy individuals, there is absolutely no excuse why you cannot do it on your own. Because imagine we just started with 20 square meters of garden. And even that 20 square meters were already enough. This one in the farm, it's more than enough. That is why we are sharing some of our produce to our visitors and our friends and our relatives. So imagine just going to your cupboard and or your pantry and you already have your own mango powder juice or pineapple powder juice, or you already have your own coffee. So even if there's a lockdown, you'll be very secure. In the farm, we also do our own drinks. So we have kombucha, we have kefir. We also learned how to do preserving and fermenting the natural way, natural with no chemicals and preservatives. So during the lockdown, Manggod, we were like, uh, we didn't have access to soft drinks and carbonated drinks. So we were like researching how do we do this? Because of course we can have the natural juices, but sometimes it's not in season. Like for example, if mangoes are not in season, then we won't have mango juice. So we started to research how we can do our own drinks, and voila, kombucha and kefir drinks are naturally carbonated drinks. So it was like it was life changing because having access to your own food supply and your own drinks. And it was very exciting because you can flavor your kombucha and kefir with whatever is in season. So it was not only delicious, it was also the feel good thing about growing your own food and being able to produce yourself is different from just buying. And being able to do it yourself allows you to like have control of what and how you want it to taste like. So here, our main purpose in the farm really is to share and inspire. For family, friends, and visitors who come to the farm, we're able to share our lifestyle. We're able to share our food. It's also a fun way for us to like explore with friends. So maybe 9 out of 10 who went to the farm are already farmers by now. So imagine, because by just thinking or planning about it, you will not be really able to think that it is possible. But by going there and seeing, oh, it's possible, even if you have a job, it's possible. Even if you are busy, it's still possible. Even if we don't have access to a lot of manpower because we do the gardens ourselves, you'll see that it's possible. So being able to share this with our friends and family and to all of you here, that living in a sustainably designed environment is doable, and being able to live organically and grow your own food at that is already a very big bonus. So also here in the farm, we want to educate and share the experience, because just looking at it is different from really experiencing it. So here in the farm, we are hosting seminars in organic farming, about taking care of nature, um, mountaineering, first aid, team buildings. So by sharing the experience to a lot of people, hopefully it's like a seed bud that we planted, and hopefully it will grow. Or maybe in 1 out of 100 that goes there, one successful convert is already more than enough, because we want people to be educated, even the young children to be educated. Today, this weekend, we have a summer kids camp in the farm. That is why I'm not there, because the internet signal might not be good. So we are here. We want to teach the young children. We want to expose them earlier and educate them about how going back to nature, how taking care of nature is still the best for us, because all the sickness that we have right now, even COVID-19, is a result of neglecting the environment. And going back to nature and taking care of nature and um, building with nature in mind, using sustainable materials is still very important and might be able to heal the environment. One of the best things, aside from all the bad that COVID-19 has an effect on us, is that nature is given the chance to have like a vacation. So you'll see, if you go to the beaches right now, the beaches are cleaner. Nature is really a very forgiving mother. If we leave it alone and not touch it, she can repair herself. So imagine living in nature. You will definitely be repaired. So we also want to nurture nature, take care of the water sources, farm sustainably and organically, plant native trees and species. So um, our farm is located in a watershed. So it is very important to take care of the water, because of course water is life, and without it we will not be able to live. So by also introducing the native species here in our single tiny plot, hopefully when we grow them, the birds can plant them somewhere else. So it has a ripple effect. And we also want to like propagate more of our native species, because some of our native species are, very beautiful. Even the cherry blossoms in Japan, we have our own Palawan cherry blossoms that we can grow. So the plethora of um, flora and fauna that we have native is very beautiful, if only we let our minds see it. Because sometimes when we see nature, we say, it's a forest, it have bugs and mosquitoes and whatnot. But if you learn how to live with nature, then you'll know there are plants that can repel insects and mosquitoes. So plant it around your home. Or if you know that you don't like uh, snakes, then in the farm we do not clear the whole farm. We just clear the areas where we will use it. So we allow nature to still have a space around, because if we clear all the land that we build on, then nature will not have access, will not have a space to live. So of course the snakes will go to your house because they don't have anywhere to go. So respect and living with nature is very important, because definitely we can live together. As human beings, we are gifted with a brain to manage it. So let's just manage it. Let us not kill it. So what are our future plans here in the farm? We want to do more rainwater ponds so that we can have a sustainable supply for water and fish. We'll also be building bamboo villas, because we have a lot of bamboo in the farm. We're also more now into regenerative agriculture, agriculture that can plant, repair, and grow itself. And of course, we already started with our permaculture food forest here in the farm. So all of these um, uh, items that I have mentioned, definitely Amonsagana has it all. Because when I first saw Amonsagana a few years back, I really said this is a project that is living and breathing dream architect. So it is a very life-changing project, and to be part of it, to have a home inside Amonsagana is really will be a very good investment and privilege to some of the few who are invited to live there. So this is our tree house. We have the mahogany preserved here in the hammock area. Although some of you will say that it's not good to have the mahogany, there is a backstory here. We have these big mahogany trees near the tree house, and when the treehouse was not yet there, we were sleeping in hammocks here in the mahogany grove. And my good friend went there, my mentor, and she said, "Oh, architect, you need to cut all the mahogany trees because it's not good for the environment and nothing grows, blah blah blah." And of course, I believe her, and I know that what she is saying is true, because really you can notice that nothing is growing under the mahogany trees. So that night, when me and my husband decided that, okay, let's just build another tree house on top of the mahogany and just cut them all so that we can suppress the spread of mahoganies in the farm. So at that same night, you know what happened? And it's very magical. It's like a battalion of fireflies went to the mahogany as if they were on a protest and telling us not to cut the mahogany. And you know, the fireflies does not really go to the mahogany. They go to the other trees down below. But it was the first time that the fireflies went to the mahogany in hundreds. So it was like nature telling us to no, do not cut the tree. So holds true to our promise to not cut trees that are there before us as our sign of respect to the land. So instead of cutting trees, we must instead plant more native trees. So hopefully, I have not overwhelmed you with all of these. If you want to start your own organic farm, or if you want to start living sustainably, you don't have to worry and be overwhelmed. You can start small and start slow and start with what you already have. With or without a farm, you can start. Having a home in Amonsagana with an access to an organic farm that is sustainably built and sustainably grown, you already have enough. You already have enough. So that's it for my presentation. For Hacienda Gracia and Dream Architects, you can all reach us through Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or email me at darylbgarcia@gmail.com. We also have a YouTube channel, Hacienda Gracia Dream Life, where we share our how we do our lifestyle, what we do, our tips and tricks and life hacks in doing organic farming and living sustainably, even with full time jobs. So, thank you very much for listening to my presentation. I hope you have a good weekend, and stay safe at home.
All right, thank you very much, architect. Again, everyone, let's give a big virtual applause to our resource speaker, architect Daryl. Arki, dagan kayong salamat. But of course, before we let you go, we actually have gathered some questions from our friends who are listening or are viewing on our Facebook Live, and at the same time who also joined us here in our Zoom meeting. Now, the first question, architect, is actually coming from a friend. She doesn't want to be introduced. Anyways, she said that she only has a limited space in her own apartment. She doesn't have a lot. So, what could be the best? I mean, like for a starter like her, what could be the best thing that you can actually suggest to her so she can at least start with this kind of lifestyle?
Well, that's a very good question, no, and very applicable at that because we all live in sometimes apartments or condominiums. So the best way will be to grow grow vertical. Like for example, when we started, we grew in containers on our fence and on our walls because that way it's also manageable because it's easier to water and it's easier to take care and easier to harvest. So just in your apartment, just check where you can grow because of course in your apartment I'm sure you will have walls, I'm
Mm.
sure you have a fence, I'm
Yes.
sure you have maybe a railing where you can grow something or in your windowsill. So don't be overwhelmed by thinking that I need to have a farm. Just start with one pot. What is your favorite herb? For example, you love basil. Then grow one pot of basil. Do not start growing 100 basils because you will be overwhelmed at first. Then second, you might not know how to take care of the basil. So when all the hundreds of basil die, you will be sad and depressed. So
Yes.
start with food that you use. For example, if you love to eat lettuce, then grow a lettuce. Or if you want okra, then grow an okra or grow a tomato. Just start with one pot, and learn how to do it. And then graduate to another pot and another pot and try to adjust how you grow your own food. Like, for example, we're very guilty now. When we started, we were like hardcore addicts of planting, and we planted like 1,000 heads of lettuce. And in the end, we were not able to eat all the lettuce because a family of 10 can only like eat maybe 10 heads of lettuce in a week. So it became extra. So when you grow, start small and then start with your favorite food. Food that you will really use. Do not like collect all the herbs in the world and then not use them.
Mhm.
Plant the plants that you use and you love and what you used to eat. Like Sir Peter said, spring onions. Yes, spring onions is very easy to grow and you can just leave them there and harvest every day.
Thank you
Start
very much.
small. Start with one.
that's already one. That's already one question down. Okay, another question, architect, is you actually encourage people to eat colorful food like fruits, vegetables, but not everyone is sure that the food that they're buying are organic. How will we know? This is actually from a Jean Maliola. So how will we know that a food or the food that we buy is organic?
Oh, very hard question, no? How to know? Of course, it will not be 100% that you will know that for sure. Sir Peter said looks ugly. Yes. Yes, another indication.
Okay.
You should be afraid in buying food that is very beautiful and spotless because in reality, plants will have bugs. And first, of course, you know, you have to like know your local farmers that grow organic food.
Mhm.
And the more we support organic farmers, the more organic farmers will grow. Because if they see a demand, then they'll shift the demand. For now, the farmers will think, the conventional farmers will think that, oh, it's not possible to grow or it's hard to maintain. It's easier to just spray all the chemicals. But
Mhm.
imagine eating all of those chemicals and you're trying to be healthy by eating vegetables, but you're eating chemicals and pesticides. So the first the first and foremost way to know is, of course, to grow your own food. Very easy to
Mhm.
say. Very easy to say. But of course, you can start small, then grow from there. If you really don't like planting, then you don't have to force yourself to plant, because you can support the local farmers that grow organic. There are also a lot of farms already that are certified organic, that have been tested to be organic. So by supporting our local farmers that grow organic, then we're also growing a community of like-minded people. And of course, like for Amonsagana, you maintain your own organic garden, so it's very good. And people and residents there are assured that their food, they have access to good food that is
Mhm.
sustainably grown and organically grown. Because here in Mactan, where we live, we are growing two grapevines, and one we harvested like 50 kilos, 50 kilos of harvest from just two vines, and these two vines were 100% organic. And aside from the large harvest, another realization that we had was, when we harvested the grapes now, after a day or 3 days on the table, the grapes were already overripe.
Mhm.
And even if we placed it inside the refrigerator, the grapes were continuing to be ripe. Like in a week's time, it was already like overripe. So imagine the grapes that you buy in the grocery store traveled thousands or millions of miles to get to the grocery, and when they get to the grocery, they're still very fresh. And in the grocery, they spend like months being fresh inside the grocery, and you may wonder what's in the fruits, what's in the grapes that makes them fresh like forever, when actually the organic ones is just like, if you don't eat it now, then it will rot, and you just put it in the compost or do some raisins, or if we even did wine and vinegar from it. So if we don't pay attention to the food that we eat and how it is grown, then it will definitely reflect back to our body.
Mhm.
So being able to tell if a food is organic, first and foremost, then grow as much as you can, and then from those that you cannot grow yourself, get buy from support organic local farmers.
Thank you very much, Archie. Here's another question coming from a friend. Junel Francisco is watching. He's asking architect because he saw your video. I mean, your presentation where you have your livestock and you have your chickens and all. Do you also use your chicken dung as fertilizers? Are they safe to be used?
The chicken manure.
Chicken manure, yes, yes.
Yes, yes. We're using our chicken manure. Partly now we are feeding them organic feed, and then we're also augmenting their feed with azola and duckweed and some forage. But since chicken manure is a hot manure, we cannot use it directly to the plants. We needed to dry and compost it first before we apply it to the plants. Now, here comes another kind of organic fertilizer that we are using, which is rabbit manure. So we have a rabbitry in the farm. So our first reason really in growing the rabbits is not for meat, but for the organic fertilizer that we get from them, because rabbit manure is cold manure. So that means from the rabbits, we can put it directly to the plants, because the rabbits are only eating leaves, grass, and fruits. So they're fully organic. So that way we alternate rabbit manure, composted chicken manure, and we're also doing our own natural fertilizers as well. Eggshells, we have plant juice, we have fruit juice. So it's like it's like a lifestyle change, but it's not really something that's mind blowing that it's new. It's something our grandparents already knew. We have forgotten because of the modern conveniences that we
Mhm.
already have. But growing your own fertilizer in the compost is just like second nature to our grandparents. So that's just what we are doing in the farm, and also like applying permaculture design principles there, planting together plants that help and complement each other. So um, it's really important to like balance it out. Monocropping or planting with just one crop will surely
Mhm.
damage the environment. So that's why we are planting, we are designing the garden as if nature was the one planting it. So
Mhm.
it's a balance, and having the livestock in the farm is also our way of securing not just our food, but also the manure and the compost is the food for the plants that we grow.
Mhm. Okay, thank you, Arky. I have here one question coming from one of our clients. He's here, but he doesn't want to be acknowledged. Anyways, he was asking architect if you would accept landscaping services for his house there in Amonsagana.
And I of course I cannot say no to Amonsagana, no.
Yes, because he's actually
Definitely, yeah, I would love to help. Yes.
hmm because he's still he's still in the US. So when he comes back, he would actually want his house, I mean his garden to be landscaped. And now that he actually has listened to your talk, he was thinking of like, maybe getting you to do the job. I mean to do the landscaping of his house to make it look more natural and to be sure that it's really organic and it's really healthy.
Ah, to mom or sir that asked the question, I can definitely help you, but you have to be part of the process because you have so that you will know how to maintain it, you will understand how it is grown. So yes, I can help you, but you also need to do your part so that you will learning how to grow your own food is really very enjoyable and it will be worth your time.
Mhm. Okay. So, architect, personally, I would like to ask this to you, no, because you've been achieving a lot of things already. So, what else, or I mean, like, what else can architect do that she wants to do pa? Like, I believe you're still young, so you still can do a lot of things. But what has I mean, like, what else do you want to do after achieving all these?
Okay, world peace? No, just kidding. Uh, Personally, our life goal really is to continue doing this advocacy of organic permaculture farms. We also want to advocate, of course, our native plants and species. We
Mhm.
want to, in Dream Architects, we want to advocate building sustainable communities and cities and development. So even if we develop or design projects that are multi-level, multi-towers with mixed-use developments, we always inculcate in our projects a touch of these sustainable factors: natural lighting, natural ventilation, solar power. All of these things can be done even in the modern buildings that we design. So building and designing with nature, that is really our goal. We also wish to impart or inspire to other people that it is doable, and in order for us to do that, that's why we are doing it. We're practicing it in actual so that we can show to the people or to the world rather, like a Miss Universe, that it is doable and it is possible, even if in small, tiny amounts of time. So what I want to achieve in 10 years time, I'd wish for more farms to be organic. We'd like to build and design projects that are sustainable, that are environment friendly. I'd like to see a world where developments are working with nature and not against it.
Mhm.
So something like that. Somehow I can answer for that in the Miss Universe question.
Yeah, it's upcoming. Okay, but there's another question, architect, coming from Sir Peter Go. He's actually asking if you're selling compost.
Come again?
Are you selling compost, or maybe he's referring to
Um,
fertilizers?
Oh, for now, since we are doing it hands on and we are doing it ourselves, because we want to understand and learn how to do it. we don't have extra compost for now because we're using it up first to heal the soil in the farm. But of course, in the future, we may have compost available, and we will also be sharing with you how we do our own composting, how we do our planting in our YouTube channel, so that more people can have access to it anytime they have the time to like watch or want to learn something, they can just access and do it. Because Peter, the doing the composting is as easy as just putting all the malata materials in one bin and cover it up so that rats and um, pests cannot go inside, and just leave it for a year or 6 months. So if you don't have time to do that, there are a lot of organic farms right now that are that have available compost that is already ready mixed.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, Sir Peter said
Thank
it
you for
only
the
takes
question,
time.
sir.
It takes time. Now, there's another question coming
Yes,
from
of course.
Miss Janice. So, how would you incorporate native trees and plants into your garden? And is it possible?
Oh, very much possible. You know why? Because the native species are already built and designed for the native environment that we have here. So, for example, we have these local, like the native plants are not just that have no edible component, because most native trees are edible. Like we have santol, manga, kaimito, and the host of other native trees. So you're not just planting a native tree for the
Mhm.
wood, you're also growing your own food. You're also growing food for the insects and the animals that live around it. So growing native trees is not really just to plant that tree and that tree does not have anything useful to you, because
Mhm.
that tree can either provide you with wood, can provide you with firewood, food, and a host of other benefits that you can get from that native trees. And the best thing about native trees is that they're native. You don't need to take care of them. You don't need to go
Yes.
there and fertilize them or do whatever to them, because they already know how to live there in that environment. So
Mhm.
native trees grow also very fast, can provide you with food maybe in 2 3 years time. So it's really very good to plant native trees than plant foreign imported trees, because the imported trees need to adapt to our environment. You still need to like fertilize it, or it will not grow really well in the soil that is not built or designed to grow. So native trees is easy. Inculcating it in the garden is also very easy. For example, we have these native trees that have very nice flowers. For example, banaba. Banaba has very nice flowers, and banaba is medicinal and it's also edible. It's like an all-in-one uh, food growing machine, and it's there. It can grow even without you. So
Mm.
it's very even on, for example, Amonsagana, on the road, on the sidewalks, you can plant native trees that does not have extensive root systems that can damage the road. So it's like studying what will grow well and what's applicable. And of course, there are interventions also to having those trees there in the vicinity. You also need to like really learn how to grow it well, and how to incorporate in the design. Like for example, Miss Janice, we are, for example, for the master plans that we do on some of the projects, we designed our buildings around the trees. So we did
Mhm.
not move the trees, we leave the tree as is, and then master plan the design based on the location of the native trees, or the century old trees, because one of my principle is that those trees that were there before us honors our respect, because they were there before us and they've been there for like centuries already. And the we wanted to cut the mahoganies, but the fireflies were there to intervene. So nature really knows how to work it.
All right. So thank you very much, Arki. Yeah, Miss Janice said we are doing the right thing at Amonsagana because yes, we are actually preserving the natural terrain and we retain the native trees. as part of our advocacy also. That's part of the sustainable life that sustainable living
I
that we
wish
are
you have a
actually.
large Nara tree in front.
Yes, yes. So basically, your the Hacienda Gracia is just can be just part of the entire Amonsagana, because we would actually be having our own farm, and we will be incorporating the concept of Hacienda Gracia probably in our project. So we would also, this is also just part of our preparation for our unit owners to to have all this in mind, so that in the future that they will be moving in, they already know what to do, and they can already put in what needs to be put in their own backyard. So it's something like this. So architect, thank you very much. Daghang salamat kaayo for being with us today. It's really very informative. Everyone is actually learning a lot from you, Sir Ed and Sir and Miss Joan. They're watching. One of our clients, Sir JV, is actually has joined us, and he's gonna be back anytime this year. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll just allow na lang, wait, so you can unmute. So Sir JV actually raised his thumb. He said, okay. Yeah, so the Arki dagan kaayong Sir JV, thank you very much, sir. Arki dagan kaayong salamat for joining us again today. And to all of you guys who joined us today, again, dagan kaayong salamat, and I'll see you again in our next na pod nga episode of our Amonsagana Lifestyle Series. So architect, any last words that you would want to share to say to our audience?
I think I've already overwhelmed some of you about the farm that we do, no? But if you don't have time, if you don't have a farm, you don't need to feel stressed about it. Just enjoy life. Start small and um, do what you love. And having a home, having access to a home that is sustainably designed is a privilege. That's what the pandemic has given us a very hard lesson to do, to not have a home in a time where there is no security is really um, life changing. So having your own home, investing in a good home is very important. Investing in your health is very important. And of course, we cannot survive this pandemic alone. We must be able to do it together. And by doing it together, we impact the community that surrounds us. So thank you very much for listening and joining in this webinar. I appreciate very much your time. I know all of you are very busy, but you took the time to listen. So thank you.
Alright.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you
Miss
very much,
Janice, thank
architect.
you.
And that wraps up our event this morning. Thank you again, everyone. Have a nice day. Keep safe and stay well and stay healthy. Bye.
Bye.